Hello friends, welcome to the shed. I am Chevee, and today I have a story for you. Today we're talking about riddles, and this was inspired by an event that happened last night. I asked for your riddles, and I didn't get a whole lot of response, but I really only asked once. It was late in the day, and normally I ask these things multiple times, so it's my fault this time. But it was just because I had a different topic picked for today, and anyway, you don't care. Let's just talk. Let's just talk about riddles. So, riddles are a thing, and it was funny because I don't normally think about riddles. It's not like a favorite game of mine, but when I got to book 4 in the Dark Tower series, there's a riddles become an important thing in that book, and at the same time, my daughter started asking me riddles and asking me for riddles. And so I started, of course, reciting riddles from The Hobbit to her, and then yesterday, this riddle thing. And so I guess Benny Sperling correctly guessed, is this the one with the llamas? And so if on Facebook, apparently there's this thing, solve this riddle. If you don't, then you have to change your picture, your Facebook profile picture to llamas. And he asked, is this the one with the llamas? And his profile picture was llamas. So I assume that he lost. And that riddle is something like, it's, you're asleep at 3 a.m., your parents start knocking on your door, they've come for an early breakfast, you have the, bread, honey, butter, and syrup. What do you open first? Okay, and so the, haha, I'm smarter than that answer is the door, and that's not the correct answer. Apparently, it's one step earlier, and that is you open your eyes. And so at game night last night, this guy's like, "Hey, check this out," and he shows me his phone, and so I read it, and I'm like, "Are you?" I saw that he was already llama, so he had already failed, and I'm like, and he's like, "You can answer, but you have to commit," and I'm like, "Commit to what?" And he's like, he tells me the whole thing. You have to change your picture, and I'm like, "Okay, it's eyes, right?" Or actually, I think I said, this is stupid, right? And he's like, what do you mean it's stupid? And I'm like, these are the kind of riddles that piss me off. Like, they're designed to make you feel dumb. They're designed to insult you. And that's not a good riddle to me. Because the answer is open the door. But that's not the answer the Riddler wants. He wants open your eyes. And that is a completely subjective answer. Because what if, I know this is hypothetical, but what if I ask that of a person who has no eyes? Right? So that is a riddle designed to make you feel dumb. Like, that's the entire intention, is to make you a llama, to make you put your llama thing up. And that irritates me. I don't like riddles that require you to bring information in like that, or are subjective. It just, anyway. And so I voiced my opinion, and he's like, so then we started talking riddles, right? And so he hits us with one, and he's like, "Do you ever hear of the game called," I think it was called Mon-Fri or something like that, or Mind something? It was like a trivia type game. And he hits us with this riddle. And it took me 3 hours to figure it out. And it shouldn't have. It should have taken seconds. But it's just, it worked. It's more of a, and it's kind of hard to say, is this a riddle or not? I'll tell you here in a second, and I'm not going to tell you the answer. You have to figure that out for yourself. But I'll tell you here in a second what it is. And so we worked on this riddle, and nearing the end of the night, a bunch of other people got in on working on this riddle. One guy was like, "Oh, I got it." He, like, just, the original asker asked it, he went, "Oh, I got it." And then, like, as soon as he said that, I went, "Say it again." He says the riddle again. I'm like, "Oh, I got it too." Like, it was like back to back. And so I go to work today to tell that story. I was like, I'm not going to tell you this riddle because you'll do the same thing I did and you'll be mad and blah. And so the people were like, "No, we want the riddle." Fine. So I give them the riddle, and then there's like, it ends up being this crowd of people as I'm working all day trying to figure this thing out. And then one One guy got up to go to the restroom, and while he was gone, he figured it out. Like he's like, and when he left his phone. He's like, I'm leaving my phone, so you know I'm not cheating. He walked me, and he's like, that's stupid. And I'm like, okay. And so here, the riddle that was told last night, and the one that I'm going to tell you now is the one. And it's simply, everyone knows that Christmas and New Year's fall on the same day of the week. However, in 1939, the year that World War II started, Christmas was on a Monday and New Year's was on a Sunday. Why? That's the riddle. I'm not going to tell you the answer. You have to figure that out for yourself. But once you figure it out, you'll see what I'm saying about intelligent riddles or word traps, essentially. And that's, I will tell you, I'll give you one hint. It is not something, and obviously you can just copy and paste from my video description or whatever, and you'll figure it out very quickly if you want to cheat. I will say that it is not like a play on words. It's not, you don't have to bring anything into this riddle. Everything you need is right there in the wording. So for instance, the first thought was, oh, it's leap year. No, leap year doesn't change the number of days between Christmas and New Year's. And then I had quite a few people hit on, well, was Christmas a man? Did he fall down? Right. So that's similar to there's a classic riddle. The man rode into town on Tuesday. 2 days later, he rode out on Tuesday. How? Tuesday was his horse, right? And so no, it's nothing like that. It's not like a man named New Year's or a man named Christmas or anything like that. So yeah, work with that one. See what you come up with. I like that sort of thing. So I want to hear your riddles. That's why I'm doing the video on this, because I enjoy this sort of silliness. And, I've Googled, and most of the riddles that I find, you go to as soon as you Google one riddle, you get to these, like, really poorly formatted web pages that are just like they're just trying to get ad money for people searching for riddles, and it's just like crap. So I would love to hear good ones like the 1939 riddle. Lance is the Undead Viking. He's a board game reviewer. You should go check him out. What is open when it's closed and closed when it is open? I know this one, so this is a good one. I'm going to leave that for you guys to figure out. But please, like Lance, leave some riddles in the comments down below. I would love to see some new ones. Thank you guys for being here. As always, tomorrow is Rogue One. And I'm going to go see it, and I'm going to talk to you about it. And it will be a show full of hundreds of spoilers. So if you're not interested in that, maybe skip tomorrow. Or if you haven't seen it yet and you're going to, tomorrow's show is going to be all about Rogue One. So I'm just giving you the warning. Next week, back to normal, whatever topics we want to talk about. If you have anything you want to talk about, please feel free to share with me. Chevee at thedailyshed.com. And hit me up on Twitter. So thank you all for being here. As always, I love you very much. I will see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from wikipedia.org. Why do they call it the Scotland Yard? That's interesting. I don't know. The name derives from the location of the original Metropolitan Police Headquarters at 4 Whitehall Place, which had a rear entrance on a street called Great Scotland Yard. The Scotland Yard entrance became the public entrance to the police station, and over time, the street and the Metropolitan Police became synonymous. I had no idea. I didn't even know it was like a single place.